introduce, I'm just going to introduce Audra. Audra, she's a registered nurse with the Huron Perth Health Alliance for the last 35 years. She is a manager of the parent care maternal child site at Stratford. She has been a bedside nursing experience, includes surgical and obstetrical nursing. She left nursing 12 years ago to assume the role of a clinical applications analyst within her organization, where they focused on quality performance improvements and staff education. After completing a leadership program in 2021, she had the opportunity to open and supervise the COVID Assessment Center. In 2022, she was grateful for the opportunity to circle back to the maternal child unit and accepted the current management position. She's committed to patient and staff experiences and advocates for change to implement quality practice standards. She supports organizational values with compassion, accountability, integrity, with the goal to lead by example. And I'll let Audra introduce Leah. Okay, thank you.
Hi, good morning, good afternoon. Thank you for asking us to join you today to share our experience here at Stratford General. I want to introduce my patient partner, Leah Carroll. Leah was one of the first patients that had the opportunity to use our sensory room. I will let her take it away, but we appreciated her feedback. We did a soft go live with the sensory room back in September, and Leah delivered a beautiful baby boy Jameson on September 4th. And then we did our grand opening on October 11th. So Leah's been a great asset to provide us with feedback, and she was a part of our grand opening. So yeah, Leah, if you want to introduce yourself.
Hi, everyone. My name is Leah Carroll. As Audra mentioned, I delivered my son on September 4th, Jameson. So he's almost 5 months old now. He is my first baby. So of course, the delivery experience was a little bit anxiety inducing for sure. Audra, do you want me to tell them a little bit about my experience now, or do you want to speak to it first?
Maybe I'll speak to the room itself, and then we'll circle back, Leah, and you can tell us how you felt utilizing that space and how it helped with you and bonding with Jameson.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you very much.
So are you guys good? Margaret, are you good with me to start my presentation? Okay, you're on mute, but I think you said yes.
Sorry,
okay.
Yep.
So I just wanted to give you a little feedback about the journey from the conception, this idea to initiate a sensory room at Stratford General. We had became aware of some funding through mental health, and with that funding, there was discussions around opening a sensory room on our mental health inpatient unit. And our leadership team thought what a great opportunity to look at not only how we could benefit on the mental health inpatient unit, but how a sensory room would benefit our laboring patients and enhance that experience. So, you know, the plan was presented and we got approval to move forward back in March of 2021. And we developed a partnership with a company called WaveCare based out of Denmark. Sensory labor rooms are widely used in Denmark and in India, but not so much in North America or the rest of the world. So anyway, we developed a partnership with WaveCare and ran into a bit of a roadblock where with Canadian code standards and things like that and regulations, we weren't able to move forward with the lighting system. So it took quite a number of months to investigate and find another partner within Ontario, a company called All About Lighting. So once we were able to secure a vendor that would be able to help us with light installation and sound installation and whatnot, we were able to resurrect this project. I came into this role back in August of 2022. And in January of 2023, we really ramped it up and were able to complete it, as I mentioned earlier, to our grand opening on October 11th. So it didn't happen overnight and it required a lot of stakeholders, but we're pretty proud of this initiative. And how we got here, and we couldn't thank our partners at Wave Care enough for their support. So I just wanted to say it didn't happen overnight, but we've made it, and we always welcome feedback. So we always appreciate our patient partners like Leah. So a little bit about the sensory room itself. The whole purpose is to help to alleviate anxiety and stress that goes with the labor and birthing process. And how we are able to do that is through the Wave Care sensory system, which combines lighting and sound and nature visuals on a giant 85-inch screen in the room. And with that, it helps to create a relaxing home-like environment. So the initial screen that you had seen on the presentation was actually a sensor labor and delivery room in Denmark. These pictures that I'm going to show you are our actual labor and delivery room here at Stratford General Hospital. And you can see a little bit, there's a giant 85-inch screen. And then to the left, you can see that there's a very user-friendly touchscreen control panel that our patients, their partners, and our healthcare providers can change and adapt at any time. So just this is another picture, a different angle of the room. So you can see with the muted lighting, very calm environment. We used very muted paint colors in the room. The window coverings, we ran out of money. You can see that they're see-through blinds. The goal moving forward, if we could secure funding, would be to have blinds that would darken the room to get better benefit from the lighting in the labor room itself. So at night, it's a little bit of a different experience because of the light coming in through the day. It affects the lighting itself a little bit. With the different themes that we have through the Wave Care sensory system, you can change the energy. So based on the patient's needs, voice needs, part or where we're at in the birthing process, we're able to change that theme to meet those needs. And it can be changed at any time. So the Wave Care themes, we actually have 9 installed right now. We are able to add to those at any time, and we're able to update the system remotely when needed at any time as well. The arrival theme is the theme that we have set to the room before our patients and their partners actually present to the labor room. So once we've identified or had a request for the sensory room and it's available, it's a first come, first serve basis. We as healthcare providers would go into that room and turn this theme on. There be the music, the scenes, the lighting. We would set up everything required for the birthing experience beforehand to kind of minimize that clinical feeling when our patients come into that room. So it actually creates an initial, almost automatic sense of calm, which helps. One of the other themes that we have is a breathing theme, which really helps the patient focus on their breathing. The waves go in and out in a 4-second delay, and it really helps with providing pain relief, creates a relaxing effect, helps our patients stay focused, and minimizes hyperventilation. The tranquility, again, it just creates a different ambiance in the room, a different music, different lighting, allows the couple to bond and create a feeling of intimacy in there, and actually some security when treatments and procedures and exams are happening. The focal point, you can see on this particular screen that there's a sun with it's rimmed. So that creates a focal point for our patients. And it runs in a loop where that focal point actually fades away. And then in a loop will come back up. So different scenes will rotate through. This isn't the only screen in this theme. It's just a constant loop, but it creates the ability for the partner to focus using breathing techniques and minimize their pain that they're having during the labor process. The welcome screen is a more energetic theme, with more lively music, beautiful nature scenes, and a brighter light. This is the theme that we like to put on just before or as the baby is being born. Creates an environment that would help to stimulate breathing after delivery, and again helps with that to minimize that pain after delivery. The beautiful thing about the Wave Care system is they've developed a breastfeeding and a skin-to-skin specific theme. And again, just by using all of the options within the system, it encourages our moms to get baby to breast as soon as possible after delivery, help to relax the mom, the partner, the healthcare provider with assisting their patient to get that baby to breast, and then just creates a positive environment for that interaction between both of us. Optimism, again, can be used at any point during the birthing process. And again, it's about the energy in the room. It's people, this is one of most of our patients, the feedback that we've received, this is one of their favorite themes, just because of the sound of the waves and the waterfall and the changing dimensions of the nature settings that show up. This is a really important positive. Helps to create some energy to help with pushing and whatnot, but this is a fan favorite. The lullaby really helps to encourage, just with more soft tones with the music, helps to create an environment that encourages rest for both our moms, their partners, while they're going through the labor process, and also helps to promote that rest after the baby's born, so that moms and babes can look after themselves and really start that bonding phase. Sorry, I'm not reading through every slide. I think people can see what the benefits are for each thing. And then skin to skin, again, just using the lights, the sounds, the different visuals. And again, with this particular system, you can change the theme at any time. You can, based on the patient's preference or based on your assessment, you can actually use only bits and pieces of it. Some of our patients only like the sound, some only like the lighting, some only like the visuals. So it's very adaptable. They have the ability to update and change the theme and how we're using it at any time. Benefits for skin to skin, as we all know, is stabilizing body temperature, blood sugar, promoting regular breathing, helps to support and care and create a caring atmosphere to minimize crying. Moms and babes remain in a calm situation and promotes weaning and sucking. So one of the things that we do, I mentioned earlier, is we prepare the room before we bring the patient and their partner into the room. And then once we bring the patient and their partner into the room, we give them a little bit of an overview of how the system works. And we give them access to use that touch screen and give them a little show and tell, and they're able to utilize it at any time throughout the birthing process. The screen is just showing a different theme. This is a birthing room in Denmark. And again, just reiterating that healthcare providers and patients and their partners can change the themes at any time. This actual system can be shut off at any time. If we need to have the white lights, we can switch to our original lighting system immediately, or we can use our own lighting system in conjunction with this system. One of the great benefits of this sensory room is not only just for our patients, but it's also really a great environment for our staff to work in as well. This atmosphere really helps to improve communication between our patients and our healthcare providers. It helps us to create an environment where we can deliver messages in a calmer way. During interventions, it helps the patient to calm for IV inserts if needed, epidural inserts as needed, etc. But like I said, you can actually turn the system off and turn on lighting as needed in the event that we're needing better lighting in the room based on what's going on during that birthing process. I just included this screenshot so that everybody can have a look at what the wall panel looks like. It's very simple to use. It's touchscreen. And again, it just outlines you can turn the volume up and down based on needs. You can dim the lights or make the lights brighter. You can turn them off. You can turn the display screen on the 85-inch TV as well at any time. And then I just wanted to end the presentation with some pictures of our cord cutting. So we were able to go live on October 11th. We thought it was such a wonderful incentive and initiative, and we wanted to share it with our communities. And we had our local MPP attend, Matthew Ray, our mayor, attended. We had our patient partner, Leah, came and shared her story. Our midwife group, obstetrical group, our educators. So it was there was a lot of fanfare around it. So on the left, we're cutting the cord, and then just a picture of our go live on the right. There's our patient partner on the left. And that's it. That's an overview and a summary of how we got here and how we utilize our sensory room. So I don't know if there's any questions. I think it would be a good opportunity. Maybe Leah could share her story from using our sensory room.
Thanks, Audra. I hope you can see me. I can't see myself when I'm on my phone here, so hopefully it's okay. But yeah, so I was, very grateful to be able to get access to the sensory room for my delivery. So actually, interestingly enough, I'm an RN by trade, and I used to work in labor and delivery about 8 years ago. So I had a very deep understanding of what the labor process looked like. But of course, when you're going through it yourself, it still feels like you don't know, what to expect. So I would say using the sensory room, it sort of set the tone for my labor experience. So when we walked into the room, we were sort of escorted into the room. It felt like a really luxurious experience. And it was very, very calm. So the arrival theme was on, the lights were dimmed. And it just, the sense of calm was very apparent. And I feel like that really set the tone for our day. So we used different themes throughout the day. The waves I particularly can remember while I was, having labor pains. And that seemed to help sort of distract me a little bit, focus on my breathing. I really enjoyed that we had the autonomy to move themes throughout the day. So, I think we used all of them at one point or another. But particularly, sort of a memory now that is sort of stuck in my mind is when Jameson was born. So when the welcome theme came on, the lighting was really soft and beautiful, and the music was very nice. And I just remember feeling a sense of calm, a sense of peace. He was on me, immediately. He latched quite quickly. I think he latched within 15 minutes of birth and was on my breast for about 45 minutes. So I was really happy. That was very important to me. So yeah, I just feel the delivery, with my professional experience, I've seen a lot of hectic, chaotic deliveries, and mine was completely opposite of that. It was very peaceful, and I have a very good memory and experience, and I think the sensory room played a big part in that. So yeah, it was great. If you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them. But that's sort of, in a nutshell, my experience in the sensory room. It was great.
Thank you, Leah. Thank you, Audra. Does anybody have any questions for Leah or Audra?
Hi, it's Karen.
Hi.
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 Sorry, I can't find where to put my hand up, so I would have put my hand up otherwise. Um, I have a question. First of all, Leah, I am so happy you had such a lovely birth. That is just, it warms my heart. It really does to hear that mothers are getting the care that they need and meeting like that. Oh, we have so far to go in the medical system to allow mothers to birth, I guess is how I want to say, naturally, and to enhance their environment during birthing. So I think it's a wonderful, wonderful thing that you were able to do, and I'm really happy for you. Audra, I have a question about, is this room for women that are completely non-intervention, or if they have to have, or have to, I don't, if they have an epidural, or if there's some complications, are they taken out of the room and brought into a regular delivery room, or how does that work?
No, it's a first come, first serve basis, Karen. And once you are admitted to the sensory room, the goal is that our patients will stay in there until they deliver and for a minimum of 4 hours after delivery. Sometimes based on volumes or needs on the unit, a mom might be able to actually stay in the sensory room until discharge. So it
Wow.
just really depends on needs. So you know, Leah was able to stay in that room for a period of time after delivery, and patients can use that whole sensory system for their whole stay.
Okay. Thanks.
Is there any other questions? A comment, a great presentation, Audra and Leah. We're thrilled to see something. We would be thrilled to see something like this in our local hospital. Any other questions, comments?
Just wondering, Audra, if there is a future of creating more rooms like this, and how you navigate the when the floor is busy and there's quite a few people who want that experience.
So we did develop some standard work on identifying patients who would benefit the most from using the sensory room as part of our project plan. So it is a first come, first serve basis, but if we were to prioritize, we tend to identify people during the antenatal period if they have a history of mental illness or depression or anxiety. We would prioritize those patients first. And then we have a way that we identify with just a sticker on an envelope, our prenatal envelopes, where we know that this person would benefit greatly from the sensory room. So they would be our priority to go in. But otherwise, I'll be perfectly honest, it hasn't been an issue to date. Even with higher volume days, we've been able to accommodate. And there is a plan. I mean, we don't have a solid plan in place to move forward, but it's just such a wonderful initiative for our patients that I would love to see all of our labor rooms be converted. But of course, we know that financially, we would need funding for that. So, and I think that just getting the word out with the implementation of the sensory room here at the Huron Perth Healthcare Alliance, I am getting folks from other facilities to reach out and start asking the questions. So I think this being the only sensory labor room in Canada, even potentially North America, I think we're going to see an increase in those rooms being available as it becomes more well known. So yes, it would be nice to move forward. Fiscally, probably not able to do that in the immediate moment.
That actually was going to be my question. Thank you for the excellent presentation, by the way. I just wondered if you had inquiries or visits from other hospitals in Canada, and if you have a sense of any interest nationally in other places having a similar experience for patients.
Not in North America, as part of our research. As I said earlier, mostly used in Denmark and India. I have had a few different organizations reach out, and I have provided some information. I have had people come or reach out to me and ask if they could have a tour of the sensory room, and I'm always open to sharing our experience and sharing our room with anyone who's interested. Just knowing that the unpredictability of our unit is I might have a patient in that room, but if I knew in advance that people were interested in viewing it, I do have the ability that I could actually hold off admitting to that room until after a presentation. So would love to share, definitely would love to share that with anyone.
Okay. And Karen Graham, you have a question?
Yes, thank you very much, Audra and Leah, and congratulations on little Jameson, Leah. That's really exciting. I'm glad it was such a wonderful experience for you, particularly being a nurse, because sometimes we know enough to scare us, but not enough to get us through. So I'm really pleased you had such a great experience. But my question to you, Audra, is how many birthing families have you hosted in the room since its grand opening?
I don't actually have a number. I honestly, I don't have metrics to say how many people have used it since we've actually opened it up, because we did have a soft opening and we were starting to utilize it as different pieces of the installation were available. The final piece was the speaker install, and then we had that soft opening in September. But that's really, yeah, those are great stats that I would like to see. We did have some stats that were presented to us before we approached our leadership team to look at getting approval to implement this around. They do say that using the sensory room helps to decrease the number of C-sections as well, but I don't have metrics on that. It would be a difficult metric to obtain, right? But they do say that because it just being in that environment helps to progress, like to relax a mom enough to progress through the whole birthing process in a different, better way. That we should see less C-sections, but I don't have those numbers.
Definitely could be an interesting research project, even if it was done retrospectively.
Yeah,
But
for
what
sure.
a wonderful initiative. Thank you so much for bringing it to us today.
Thank you.
And Louise, you have a question?
Yes, thanks. That was a fabulous presentation. Great to hear all the interesting outcomes from it. I have a question about the financial cost for one room. What would an organization be looking at? Do you have potentially a dollar value on it?
I actually don't have a total dollar value, only because the project occurred, was initiated before my time here. And I do know that based on the funding that was available at the time with the installation on both the mental health inpatient unit and our labor and delivery unit, they actually ran out of funds. So they utilized all the monies back in the day, and then they had to go back to the table to get different quotes for lighting and the sound system. So I don't actually have a total number cost, but I could investigate that a little bit further and provide that information to anyone that's interested in a kind of a approximate cost.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. And any other questions for Leah or Audra? Oh, Catherine has her hand up.
Yes, thank you. You had mentioned that you had 7 rooms that were sensory room. Is that correct?
We have 7 labor and delivery rooms, but only 1 that's a sensory room.
Okay, that's what I was wondering, because I was going to ask how many sensory versus how many labor and delivery rooms. Thank you. So 1 sensory, then 6 other normal, if I can say, labor and delivery rooms.
Right. Yeah.
Thank you.
Hi, Jameson.
Hey, and any other questions? Aw, what a sweetie. Aw,
Woke up, so I had to grab him.
you beautiful baby. Okay, any other questions? Okay, well, I want to really thank Leah Jameson and Audra for joining us today and kind of sharing this exciting initiative, because it really is, it's fascinating how, and we all know, you know, when we create the environment, how calming that was. And if I must admit, even looking at some of the colors as we were going through the slides, I can actually feel my shoulders coming down. So I can imagine, you know, how it helps everyone within the environment. So touche for being proactive and moving ahead with this amazing opportunity for enhanced care. Okay, so I think thank